All righty. Well, good afternoon, everybody. I hope you are having a great Wednesday, St. Patty's Day, Jason. And you got some green on. I forgot mine today. I've been pinched once. But anyway, welcome. So glad you took some time to be with us. Spend a few minutes together. And our subject for today is succession planning. And this is something we've talked about quite a bit really over the last couple of years for obvious reasons for me and for Jeff that we're both at the age where we really had to get serious about it. Two sons in the business and had a growing great business here. And so it was something that we really had to dive into a few years ago. But it isn't something that just comes easy for everybody, but something that we got to take a look at, especially as you start getting a little of that gray hair on you. So succession planning is our topic for the day. So some of you all might have participated in this, but when was it, Jason? The beginning of January?
Yeah.
Beginning of January, we did a big senior market report that was really in depth. And we sent it out to all of our agents. We had a lot of response on it. And one of the topics, if you can go to the next slide, was succession planning. So I know seeing some of your names on here, I know many of you participated in that. Thank you for that. And succession planning was one of the bullets that we asked agents out there, what's your plan? Do you have a plan? And these are the results that we received from that market report. And so we thought we'd go through them today. We got a little poll that we're going to do with you guys, kind of interactive, like all these things that we do. If you've got some questions that pop up, just type them in there and we'll get to them as we go. But we'll take a few minutes and talk about this. So here was the questions that we asked on that report was, what is your succession plan? Do you have one? And these were the things that we brought up in it. Would you pass your business on to a family member or friend? Okay. Would you sell your business? Something that we've been doing quite a bit of in the last couple of years that, as you know, we've bought several books of business from guys that were ready to retire, and that's worked out good for us and good for the guys that participated in that. So sell your book. It's got a great value there. You got a lot of loyal customers that you care about. If you don't have a family member to pass it on to, seems like a good choice, at least one that needs to be thought about. Next one was just let my renewals ride out until they're gone. You know what? A lot of guys do that. And I'm not saying that's a wrong thing to do. If your customers look like they're all over the place, they're not local, then maybe that is an alternative that makes sense to you. But it's definitely one that a lot of guys do. And if you don't make a succession plan, that's what's going to happen. So just let it ride down and see where it goes. And then one bullet, I haven't given any thought of this at all. And then any other comments. So what are we doing, Jason? Are we going to let them respond here?
Yeah, if you want to go ahead and
so we're going to play it again.
choose one of those.
Little game. So where you are in the mix right now, listening in, if you want to check it, we'll make note of it and come back here in a little bit and see if the numbers stacked up to what we got when we did our own market.
They're coming in nicely, just a few more.
See a lot of names on there, I know. Hey guys, hey Rich.
If you haven't
Give them a couple more seconds.
You may need to press the Q&A, or I'm sorry, the polling button if you see that. But all right, just a second, we'll move on here.
Got it?
All right, let's move on. And just to the people here, here's what we're seeing.
So everybody can see this, Jason?
Yeah.
So the ones that voted here just in the last 30 seconds, pass my business on to a family member. Awesome, great. We can talk about that in just a little bit, maybe a couple of ideas on that. Sell my business. 5. Let my policy renewals ride out until they're gone. We had 3 that said that was their tactic. And then I haven't given any thought at all. You know what? And I relate to that. And I think a lot of salespeople do. You know, my own nature is to procrastinate unless it's really right on top of me. I'm one of those guys. I'm not proud of it, but it's the way I am. I'll kind of put it off as much as I can, as long as I can, until it really gets urgent. That's the way I think a lot of us are. And I think on something like a succession plan, getting ourselves out of our comfort level, because it does take time. It's nothing that just happens overnight, but really putting some thought into it and getting a plan in place is really important. So, okay, let's go on. Next, I think we're ready for the next slide. So here was the results that when we did our State of the Union or our marketing report here a couple months ago. 56% of the folks that participated had no plan at all. 44% did have a plan, okay? And of those 44 that did have a plan, how it shook out was that 43% of them plan on passing it on to a family or friend, okay? 29% was they're going to sell it. 28 was just going to let it run down. So I don't know how that shakes out compared to where we are right now, if it kind of falls in line or is close. Or, you know, one thing that's really different on this report that we did in January, we had, was it 299 people that participated? So let's just call it 300 people participated in that report, and it was all age groups. So obviously, if you're 30 years old and you're in the business, I don't know how you could think about a succession plan. I know I for sure didn't. Whereas on this little thing that we're doing right now, I think most of the people that are on this are guys and gals that would be closer to retirement age. At least they know it's around the corner, and they're beginning to think about, what am I going to do with this business that I've built up for a lifetime? So, okay. When do you plan to retire or sell your business? This was another question that we asked. Here were the choices. We're going to do the same thing again, and then we're done with this polling. Is I plan to sell in the next year. Okay. I plan to sell in the next 2 to 3 years. I plan to retire or sell. I shouldn't just say sell. I plan to retire or sell for the next 4 to 10 or the next 10 plus, or I'm not sure. So let's do it again. We're halfway through, and we'll just play the game one more time. And you guys click in there if you will, and we'll see what we have.
Okay.
All right.
Let's share it.
Okay. So here's what we have. I'm scooting up here. In the next year, I have one person that says they're ready to be done. And you know what? I'll make a comment on that, because in the last 2 or 3 years, like we've said, I've talked to a lot of agents about this, and we've bought 6 is how many that we've bought so far, or we've acquired them. And getting to that place where you can really say, I'm in the last year, is a lot harder than it sounds. I can't tell you how many guys and gals will say, I know it's around the corner, but I'm just not ready yet. And then it seems like whenever they do make that decision, this is just an observation, then it's like you can't hold them back. And I'll use one example. I got a guy, great guy. His name's Roger. He's down in Southern Illinois. He's worked with us for years and years and years. And for the last several years, I would ask him, I said, Roger, when are you going to retire? He's 78 years old, still real active. And he goes, John, what would I do? What would I do if I retired? This is really, this is all I have going on. And then out of the blue, he calls, it's like in June, a couple years ago, and he's like, hey, I'm ready to sell. And it's like a lightning bulb went off. And he went from, I don't think I'm ever going to sell, where now we couldn't put the deal together quick enough. He'd had a friend who got cancer, passed away suddenly, at 78. You look around, a lot of your buddies aren't here anymore. and your thinking starts to change. And that one thing was what really triggered him that said, hey, I'm ready to go. And so if you're in that phase where you're in that first year or the next 2 to 3 years, I'd say you're really getting to the serious time, and getting something figured out and where you're comfortable is really, really important to do right now, obviously. When you get to know me, I'm really one of the best guys at stating the obvious, Absolutely. It's really where I shine. So 4 to 10 years, what was it? What did we have on that one? We had quite a few there, I thought, like 10.
Hang on one second.
I wasn't fast enough for Jason.
Yep.
4 to 10 years, we got 10 people. 10 plus is 3. Not sure is 2. So there's a lot of people that's thinking, hey, in the next 4 to 10 years, I really feel like I'm gonna retire and move on to the next chapter. So, okay, let's see what we got. So here was the percentages that we did on our survey, and you can read them for yourself. 4% we're saying in the next year. Kind of falls in line about what we did, isn't it? Right now, 2 to 3 years was 14%. The biggest one was in the next 4 to 10 years, and then 10 plus. So, all right. I think we only got one more screen, guys. Oh, there's one other little thing here. This was not on our survey, and I thought it was interesting, and Becca and Jason did too. They put it on here. Is some of the guys that participated were agency owners. So they had agents that worked for them or worked with them, however you want to say, but they were in their hierarchy. And 49%, call it half of the agents over age 50 with a downline, they had agents that worked for them. So basically they have a shop, they have an agency, and they didn't have any plan. And that's, if you're over 50 and you have folks that are working for you and you don't have a plan, you really ought to, and I feel for you because I know we didn't have a plan until a few years ago. So I get it. We were way past age 50, really, till we really got serious about it. It was probably 4 years ago when we really thought, God, we got a lot of people that work here. And if something happened to Jeff or I, we really hadn't got anything down. It's really time to, suck it up and get going on it, man. I don't know how to say it, but I think it's time to get busy on it. And you got a huge asset there. You got something that represents maybe your life's work. You've got family, you've got people that work for you, work with you, and making sure that you've got something in place. It's so important. So I'll just encourage you, anything we can do. I hope it's not whether we do business together on it. It has nothing to do. If we have anything at all that we can share that would be of help to you, we'll share it. And I think that speaks for itself when you see all of this information that I'll give Jason and Becca and Misty and his team that put all of this stuff out there on behalf of New Horizons Marketing. And so much of it is, it's all free, but it's also people use it that don't even work with us. So we're here to help. We're here to serve. We want to do business together, but we do a lot of things for people that don't work with us, and we're glad to do it. So, okay, I'm just going to hit these things again really quick, and we'll wrap it up. If you got any questions, we'll give a stab at it. But passing on your business to a friend or family member, I think that's a really, really great one. It's a really common one. I know I've got an agent right now that does business with us in Southern Indiana, a really good guy. He's in his 60s, mid 60s, and doesn't have a family member, but he's taken the initiative of bringing in a young guy as an agent to mentor him with the thought process that after 2 or 3 years, I'm going to pass this business on to this young man that he's mentoring, and then work out the business part of it on how this new agent is going to pay for that business, over time, and really create his own succession plan. It's a wonderful idea. It's common. It's not just in our business, and a lot of businesses are that way, but it doesn't happen just falling out of the sky. It just won't happen by doing nothing. You have to take the initiative if there's anything at all that we can help with on that, maybe it's we have an agent in your area that's a young guy that would love to come to work with somebody like you. If we can help, we'll help. Put the two of you together. So that's just a thought. Selling your business, I think, is what we've done in the last few years with other agents that were ready to retire. Jeff and I, as you all know, have joined Integrity Marketing in the last year. That was about a 3-year process for us. That's about how long it took before we got to the place where we were ready to do it. Thankful that we did. But selling your business, if we can be a part of that, we'd love to talk to you about that. Partnering with a business and phasing into retirement slowly. That's a concept that honestly we are working on right now. We're working on it in conjunction with our partner Integrity Marketing on how we can put something together that makes sense for that guy that's getting really close to ready to retire. Maybe you're 2 or 3 years out. You're not quite ready to say yes. And can we become partners in a way over this next few years together where you're phasing out and we're phasing in? I love this. I think this has tremendous merit. I would obviously be not, we don't have it figured out yet, all the little pieces of it, but it's something that we're really working on. I know I've talked to several agents about doing this that I think are interested. I know are interested in pursuing that if once we get a template figured out, but I like that. I like the idea of a transition. I think it helps the person who is selling their business and phasing into a new chapter in their life. And it really helps the buyer, us, because it gives us that window to become friends with your customers where they trust us. And when we do announce that you're retiring, then they're used to working with us alongside of you. I like it. We're working diligently on it. So don't give up on us on that one. We're going to get there. And then the last one is just letting the renewals ride out. And I know that's definitely an option. One thing I just would throw out there, this isn't heartless or critical or anything. It's just the truth that what I have seen in our business, if a person does not have a plan, especially if they pass away suddenly or they completely get out of the business, that news travels so fast and all the customers are scrambling, looking for who's going to be the person that's going to take care of them. And if there's no direction for them, all the agents in that immediate area, they're going to know about that too. And they swoop in and that book is demolished within a really short time. So it does not just ride out like indefinitely until it fades away. When something like that happens, it's quick. So, explore your options. I know that's definitely one, but maybe you can do a little better than that. So that's really all I have today, guys. I thank you. I thank you for, sitting in, and I know a lot of you have heard this before. We have a little thing called a discovery call that if you'd like to just have a really simple phone call with me, you can schedule it. If you don't want to schedule it and you just want to call me, just call me. I don't care, but you can schedule it where it's there. And then we just set up a time to visit together, get to know each other a little bit better, get to know about your book, kind of what you're thinking, kind of what your timeline, just talk, very, very non-threatening, absolutely zero pressure, zero. I hope you know that with us and especially with me by now, but it's a nice way to get the ball kind of rolling and just talk about it and see if there's other steps that we can continue to take where everybody's really, really comfortable, where both sides really know this is the right thing to do and we're both on the same page. So throw that out. Questions?
Yeah, we've got a few. Do you have any advice if you have more than one child, to be fair?
Man, I don't know who wrote that question, but that is a fantastic question. And that is a hard one. And I'll use myself and Jeff. I'll use me since I know me better than Sam's. Is I've got 4 kids, and I really only I've got one My son, Luke, as a lot of you know, has worked here now 10 or 11 years. And my other kids do not. And this is our company was our biggest, my own biggest asset, right? And so how do I treat my other kids fair? It's a problem, it was a problem. Now, us partnering with Integrity really took care of that. It really, really did. And that was one of the reasons that made Integrity really attractive for us. It's for sure not the main one or not the only one, but it was there. The first thing that comes to my mind is equalization is a life policy. And we do that all the time with farmers because it's so common. Farmer might have 3 kids. One of his kids farms and the other 2 do not. And his net worth is wrapped up in his land. When he's gone, they don't want to sell part of the family farm to make it equal for the kids. And so for that business to purchase a life contract, or for the 3 kids in that instance, to buy a life contract to help get them there to an equal value. It's a big life policy, but you're leveraging pennies on the dollar when you can do that. When a person's health is good enough to do that, it makes a lot of sense. We can talk to you about that. Kirk can help you with that. We do that pretty regularly here because we live in the Midwest. We deal with farmers a lot. Works the same principle. So there's probably other more complicated answers, but honestly, I don't know them. Okay, Becca, do you need a lawyer when starting this planning process? I don't know that you need one when you start, but you're going to need one. I think, to me, if you have family involved, the really most necessary, simple, but yet is seldom done is to sit down and have a transparent, honest conversation with your kids. Because it is amazing. And you guys that are in the business know this, that are in our business. How many customers do you have that you as their insurance agent know way more about their finances than their kids do? A lot. I know it, a lot. And so to sit down and break bread and have some of those harder conversations, that's what you got to do. Start there. And then at some point, you're obviously going to have to bring in an attorney, to draft things up. It needs to be a document. I think it should be. It needs to be. And, but the initial part, I think, is just being honest and open with whoever you're wanting this business to go to, for them to purchase it, how that's going to work, what that's going to look like. Most cases, you're going to have to be the bank, right? It's going to be seller financed because most of your kids can't write you a check, or an employee or somebody that's working for you just to buy you out overnight. That doesn't happen very often. So, hopefully that helps. We can talk a lot more about that anytime, one-on-one. I'll spill my guts, but I'm not an expert. It's just that we've gone down through it a little bit, Okay, from Ann.
Would like to talk again. I've been thinking of a phase out. I have some notes of what would possibly work for me.
Okay, well, Ann, thank you for that. And we will. You and I'll talk.
Gary, have agents had problems doing live work?
Gary, you threw me off on that one, brother. I don't know. I'll come back to you on that, or maybe a webinar that we're doing where we're on like remote selling or something like that, but we'll get with you, brother. All righty. Hey guys, anything else, Jason?
No. Oh, there's one. Do you mind to share the current value of a Medicare book? In the past, it's been roughly 2 to 3 years profits. Is that still the case?
Yeah, and really, hey, Zach, that's a good question. And normally the books that I have seen that are just single books of business, they're not like you're buying a company, are based on commission revenue, not profits so much as just gross commissions. And then it's a multiple of that. And it could be, anywhere from, depending on what the book looks like, from 1.25 to maybe 2 or 2.25, I would say is the range. Okay. So, but it's based on the renewable commission stream. That it?
Okay, that's it.
All righty. Hey guys, appreciate all you do. Appreciate all you do for us. I really appreciate all you do for your customers. Just don't ever short sell yourself. Don't ever think that you're not important, because you are. You matter. You really matter to your customers, and the service that you bring to them day over day, year over year is irreplaceable. So appreciate you working with us. Have a great St. Patty's Day. See ya.